So a for loop act as an iterator in Python. So for loop work as an iterator. Iterator means for a particular bunch of data, the for loop will iterate the data, and we have to define that in which way we want to iterate. Iterate means it will visit one by one all the data which is inside when we are putting it for the for loop. Let's say we are putting 10 values 1 to 10 in the for loop. By default it will go one by one. So it will go to the first data 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 up to 10, right? So whatever data it has, so it will go like that. So iteration is there in the for loop. And when we put some data inside the for loop, we have to be very careful about it, that it should be a type of sequence. Okay, sequence means either a bunch of values in the form of integer, or in the bunch of value in the form of float, or bunch of value in the form of character, or bunch of value in the form of strings. So we should have to give some sort of sequence. In that way only the item can be iterated. And yeah, it says that it goes through item that are in a sequence and any other iteratable item. So iteration, because it is doing iteration, we have to put iteratable items on the for loop. Objects that we have learned about, that we can iterate over, including strings, list, tuple, and even built-in iterators for dictionary. So any of the object is going to work here. It is saying that we can put a string, we can put list, we can put tuple, even we can put dictionaries. Okay. We have already seen for statement a little bit in past, like, okay, so we have seen some of the for loop. Let's go for in detail that how it is going to work. So this is the syntax, general syntax of the for loop. This is the statement which is inside the for loop, right? And this is the syntax for the for loop. And we have to use, at last, we have to use the indentation. This is the indentation that is required with the colon and this space. So for is the keyword, and then there is some variable. So variable is just acting as a pointer to the data item or to the item that we are providing to the loop. Here, for is a keyword and in is also a keyword. Item is a variable, and here object is also a variable name where your actual data is or actual item is. First of all, the object should contain iteratable item, means we can iterate. And by default, if we'll not put anything, it will iterate one by one. We doesn't have to give like it is going, it should go plus plus in that way, like we have done in C++. So here what will happen is the object will be iterated one by one by default. If you want to make it, let's say I want to go for 2 at a time, means let's say if we have a bunch of values from 1 to 10, if I'll go first go with 1, second I'll go with 3, then I'll go with 5, and then 7, then 9, in that way. So for that you have to explicitly give that you want to iterate in that particular way. So we'll see how it goes. Here you see, understand that this is the variable, and this variable is acting as a pointer which is pointing to or which is taking the value of the object. So this item is a variable which is taking the value from the object one by one up to the loop exists. So what loop go out means what is the output condition for that, or what is the stop condition for the loop. So the stop condition and from the statement from where it will go out is depend upon the object length. So what is the length of the object? So it will go up to the last and it will go out. Okay, it will do like that. Let's see how your for loop is going to work. We have a list, and this list we are providing to the for loop. So this particular is a list, which is an object we are providing here. Num is the variable, and we have two keyword, for and in. So it will say like that. This statement will say that for num, which is a variable, for num in list 1. For num in list 1 means whatever the value is in the list 1 will be assigned to num one by one till list 1 will be exhausted, or till the end of the list 1. And then we have a colon, and then we have, with the indentation, we have a statement. So here what will happen is this num will start from the beginning, the 0th position, and it will iterate one by one through the end, and it is going to print in this way. So it is going to print all the values which are there inside the list by num variable. Getting it? Now let's go for other examples also. Let's say I want this list to be iterated with 2 at a time. So we have to write like this. This is the from where it is starting. So it is starting, if I am not putting anything, it is starting from the 0. Up to which value it will go? It will go up to the last. And this 2 will tell us that it will go 2 at a time. Okay, it will jump 2 at a time. Okay, so here, because we haven't used anything, so it is starting from the beginning, going up to the end by one iteration. Here, if you are putting like this, so it will go with 2 adding of 2. So it will be print like this. So it is printing 1, 2 has been skipped, then 3, then 4 has been skipped, then 5, then 6 has been skipped, 7, and in that way. Okay. Let's see other function related to the for loop that we'll use frequently is a range. Okay. Range is a function which will tell us that what is the range of the value that we are giving to the for loop. So here in this particular statement, if you'll see, there is a for loop. So we'll start with the for, then the variable is there, then the keyword in is there, and then we have to put the object. So this is the object for this particular for loop. In this object, a value from 0 to 10 will be generated by a function called range, and these value will be given to the for loop, and it says that you iterate with adding 2, right? So this is the condition that has been applied. So it'll start with 0, skip 1, print 2, skip 3, print 4, skip 5, print 6, skip 7, print 8, and skip 9. And if you'll go to the 10, so you know that it is not going to give that 10 value. It will give the value from 0 to 9. So that's why it is not going to give the 10th value. So to giving the 10th value, you have to put it 11. Then only it will print the 10th value here. Okay. So the range will be starting from that particular value, and it is ending to n minus 1. Let's say you are starting from 0 and it will end with n minus 1. N is here 11, so it will go up to the 10. So this is how this range is going to work. Okay, let's go for other operator, and we'll see some of the examples of for loop again. We know what is this, right? This is the modulo operator, and it will give you the remainder. let's say 17 modulo 5. So the remainder is 2. 10 modulo 3, the remainder is 1. The same way, 18 modulo 7, remainder is 4. And 4 modulo 2, remainder is 0. Let's see some examples related to it. If a number is fully divisible by with no remainder, the result of the modulo call is 0. We can use this to test for even number, since if a number modulo 2 is equal to 0, that means it is an even number. So we have an example to print even number and odd numbers. So we are looking for here the even numbers. List 1 will be used here, the same list that is there in the previous one, where we have the value from 1 to 10. And the condition that we have applied here is num, whatever the num is at that particular time, will be modulo with 2. If it is 0, then we have to print num. Okay, and we can put it like this, that this is an even number. Okay, so it is going to print all the even values from this particular list. You can use the range also. If you want to use range, you can use this. In a range starting from 0, and let's say it is ending to 11, or let's say 11. So just print, it is going to print. So range will take 2 argument and range will take 3 argument also. The third argument is how much we want to iterate. So if I am not writing anything, means it will go one by one. Okay, so in the list, yeah, it is putting the odd numbers right now. So okay, we have to print the odd number, so it will be like this. Okay. Yeah, now it is going to print the odd numbers. Okay, the condition. So if else we have used inside the for loop. Now another example is there. Common example for loop is keep some sort of running tally during multiple loop. For example, let's create a for loop that sum up list. Let's say we know what is list is. List is starting from 1 and going up to 10. And we are just adding the values. So this is the variable we have taken, that is list sum. So num will start from the beginning, means it will go first 1. 1 will be added to 0, it will be 1. In that way, it is going to add up. And at last, you will get the sum value. So print is outside the for loop, if you can see here. This statement is inside the for loop, so it will work for up to 10 iteration, because the value are 1 to 10. And then whatever the value of list is going to print it. So it is going to print the sum of the list from 1 to 10. It is 55. We can write the same statement which we have written here in that way. So list plus equal to num, that also we can write. Let's go and give any string into the loop. So just now we have given list into the loop. Let's see how we can give the string into the list. string into the for loop. So we have a loop. This is a variable in, and this is the object that we are giving, right? So this object is nothing but the string where we have different characters and we have to print letter. So definitely this letter will be pointing to one character at a time. So it is going to point T, then H, and then I, and then S. In that way, it is going to print. So you see here, it is going to print character by character here. Here it is taking the space character also. And it is printing it. Okay. You can use tuple also. We know what do you mean by tuple. Tuple can be created with a small brackets. So this is a tuple. So we have a for loop with this particular object, that is TUP, and we'll just print the T. So T will iterate from 1 and it will go up to 5. So in that way it is going to print. So we have seen that what are the things that we can give to the for loop. We can give list to the for loop. We can use the range function, which again will make a range of values, and we can use the string to provide, and we can use the tuple. Let's see, we have the tuple which is inside the list. So this is one tuple, this is another tuple, this is another tuple, in that way, which is inside the list. You can visualize it. So here tuple is inside. So we have three tuples, one tuple, two tuple, and this three tuple inside the list. We can make it like that. And we are providing this particular list into loop. So it will go tuple to tuple, right? So first it will go to this particular state item, and then this is the item, and then this item. So it is not like it will go to 2 and then 4 and then 6 and then 8, because it is one object inside another object. So it will go to one object at a time. Like we have seen in the previous class, we have a file, and in the file we have lines, right? When we are putting the file here in the for loop, it is printing line by line. So one line has taken as one object in the file, another line is taken as another object in the file, in that way. Here also inside the object, we have another object. So it is putting one object at a time and it is printing it. So from the list too, you can have this type of loop also. Here we have, see, here we have T1, T2. In that way we can print. So T1 will be pointing to 2 and T2 is pointing to 4. Then again T1 will be pointing to 6, T2 will be pointing to 8. Then again T1 will be pointing to 10 and T2 will be pointing to 12, in that way. So if you want to print like this, T1 and then we'll use a comma, and then we'll print T2. That we can do. So it will print like, okay, T2 is not defined, it is saying. So let's run this. Yeah, so it is going to print like this. So first print will print 2 and 4, second print will print 6 and 8, and third print will print 10 and 12. So here T1 is pointing to 1 and T2 is pointing to another inside the tuple. So this is how we can go for inside the tuple. If you want to go inside the tuple, this will go inside the list, and this will go because we have two variables inside it, and we are making as this variable as a type of tuple. So it will go inside the tuple. Let's go to the dictionary and let's see how this dictionary is going to work. So this is your dictionary, right? We have key value pair. So we have K1, K2, K3. We are giving this particular object here to the loop. Item is a variable again. So item will iterate one by one. So it will go to this, then this, and then this, right? So item is pointing to the key. See, it is going to point the key, then again the key, then again the key in that. So K1, K2, K3, it will give you the key values, okay? If you want to print the items, you have to use like this. D dot items you have to use. This item function will make the dictionary inside the list. And in that way, you can get the value from K and V. So K is the value of key and the V is the value of value, like tuple just now we have seen, right? So it will make a list, and the object inside the list, the dictionary entry, will taken as a tuple. So this is one tuple, this is another tuple, this is another tuple. So if you want to iterate the value inside the dictionary, you have to use the function items. Dictionary.items will give you this value. This value will provide to this dictionary.item, and then we can print the value and the associated key and the associated value. So we have key, which is K, and we have value, which is V. Right, so in that way, we are going to get key also and associated value also. Key and associated values. Right? So I think this part is clear. We know that what are the different methods associated with the dictionary. So one method is this, items. One method is this, keys. One method is values. So whatever you want to print into the for loop, you can give it. Okay. If you want to give the values here, let's say here in this particular statement, instead of D, you want to give the values. So we have this values function. It is going to work here. Now this time, this is going to print the values. That is, okay, wait a minute. This should be item. Yes, so it is going to print the values here, 1, 2, 3. If we are giving the values, if you are giving the key, it will give the key. Otherwise, by default, it is going to print the key only. Okay.